Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk about how to actually be successful. This is Kyle Henris, and here at Next Door Trader we believe that trading is the greatest skill in the world to make some extra money from home. But here's the problem. There's a lot of bad trading information out there, and it's harder to learn than maybe you'd expect. So what we do here at this channel, we need your help, is we give you all the best trading information I've used to help over 500 plus students do 4 or 5 figure months in trading. We want to get this information to as many people as possible. So here's what we're going to do. At the end of every single month, for our top subscribers, information I've used to start my own hedge fund, we're going to give away all of our ad revenue. We don't need the ad money, and we give it away to you for free. We want you to have it instead to help you learn and get started, just to help us grow this channel, learning the greatest skill in the world, and help more people learn how to trade in the best way possible. Every single month, all you need to do, subscribe to this channel and share it to as many people as possible. And at the end of the month, we'll announce our winners and help grow this channel. We'll learn together. See you on the other side. So a lot of you are probably wondering, like, hey, how do we actually create more success? How do we do that in a way that makes sense? And I truly believe that most people never get there, not because they're not capable or they don't have all the tools, but because they're not willing to truly take risk and sacrifice in order to make it happen. It's easy when you don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to take any risk at all, right? So if, for example, you wanted to make 10K a month, but you didn't have to risk anything to get it, you never had to put any skin in the game, obviously everyone would do that. But the truth is, everybody isn't willing to do that. And I think understanding why that is can help you become more successful. But before we even get into that, I think it's important to know a little bit about my story so you can learn from it, because you might be thinking, oh, Kyle, like you probably didn't even have to take any risk. Your parents maybe had a bunch of money, or like you didn't have to put any skin in the game. You already had money to begin with. And the truth is that's not true. So you look back in 2018, 2017, made less than 20 grand a year, had like 3 grand in the bank account. So every single dollar that I spent out of that 20K a year either went to rent, it went to food, everything else went to coaching or improving my income producing skills. Literally every single cent went there. So I understand what it's like to have to sacrifice in order to be successful. But I think most people get to a point where they don't recognize their inability to do that. And here's what that looks like. And I tell you this story not to try to impress you or to make you have sympathy for my story, but because most people want to be successful, but it's not enough to just want those things and have goals towards them. Everybody wants financial freedom. Everybody wants more time. Everybody wants to be happy. Most of you probably even have those things written down on some kind of goal checklist. But just having them as goals and writing them down, even taking little action steps towards them, aren't enough to truly achieve the biggest goals that you have, something that you've never had before. And it really comes down to understanding your ability to take risk and make sacrifices in order to get there. So what most people do is they have a big goal, they know they want to get there, they write some kind of action list, some kind of goal list in order to pursue that goal, and then they never actually want to take risk to do that. They want it to be safe. They don't want to have to put any extra skin in the game in order to make that happen. And the truth is, if you're not willing to risk anything, you're probably not going to ever achieve something great. The same thing works with trading, it works with business. Whatever goals you have, you're probably going to have to risk something in order to get there. Otherwise, everyone would achieve it and it would no longer be a meaningful goal, because if everyone's doing it, it's probably not going to be as meaningful anymore. So you need to actually be able to take risks in order to do it. But the thing is, most people say that they're willing to take risks to reach their goals. But if that's true, why isn't everyone getting there? And the truth is, most people say they're willing to take risks, but when it actually comes time to take the risk, they back down, they don't do it. And this isn't necessarily their fault. This is a human condition. You are literally designed, your human brain is designed to prevent you from putting yourself in a situation that feels risky. Your brain is wired to seek safety, to seek comfort. And this really comes down to this idea of sacrifice, this thought process that you're gonna be able to reach your goals without sacrificing anything. And it's just not true. It doesn't even make logical sense, right? Because if you could reach where you wanted to go without changing anything, you'd already be there. So it's illogical to think that you can get to a different place without first changing something about your life, making some kind of sacrifice with where you're at right now. But most people aren't willing to do that. They get to the point where it's time to take the risk, time to make the sacrifice, but they're not willing to actually make the sacrifice to get there. They're not willing to spend the money on coaching, to invest in themselves. They're not willing to sacrifice some of their time. They say stuff like, well, I work a 9-to-5 job, and after that, like, I have to be at home with my family. And that's true. That's super important. But you will not reach your bigger goals if you don't sacrifice something. A sacrifice needs to be made in order to make progress towards those goals, because you need to implement change in your life in order to get there. And for some of you, that may be really, really hard. Some of you have it better than others. Some of you may not have kids running around that you need to take care of, or maybe you have some extra money in the bank. But either way, if you want to change where you're at in life, it's going to take a willingness to take risk and an ability to sacrifice, take a step back in order to take a step forward, a couple steps forward. So for me, when I started out, the reason I was able to live off of $20K a year, I went and moved back home with my parents. And not everyone's able to do that. Like, I still had to pay rent, still had to pay for food, all those things. The point is, you're going to need to make some kind of sacrifice in order to put yourself in a situation to move a couple steps forward. And if you can recognize that, accept that you're able to do that, or need to do that in order to be successful, you're putting yourself on the right path. And that can be a scary thing. And I think one easy way to get over that is just to think about what the worst case alternatives really are. So let's say you do put yourself out there, you make some kind of sacrifice, maybe you invest in coaching, or you pursue some kind of new business opportunity. Well, the worst thing that happens is you're out a little bit of money and you're out a little bit of time, but your life probably hasn't meaningfully changed in any way by making that sacrifice, right? You're right back to where you were, and maybe you're a little bit broker, you have a little less time, but your life probably hasn't really changed that much. On the flip side of that, if you never make that sacrifice, your life is guaranteed to be the same, because it's the definition of insanity to think that you can continue to do the same things and get a different result. So that's the path that you're on if you don't make any kind of changes. So with that kind of perspective, it makes it a little bit easier, because the other end of that spectrum is, hey, if I make that sacrifice and it works, now my life can be radically different. I can hit those goals. I can have more financial freedom. I can have more time with my family. Can leave the 9-to-5 job that I don't like. Whatever your goals are, you get to them by having a willingness to take risks and ability to make some sacrifices, some steps backward in order to move 2 steps forward. So for those of you that went through this whole video, I know that you're the ones that are serious about making those sacrifices and willing to do that. If you want more content like that, you like more content like this, be sure to like, subscribe, share this channel. Reminder that we give away all of our ad revenue every single month to our top subscribers. So be sure to smash that like button, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.